well, it's not like that pursuit had been taken away. They still could have won either one of the next two races, and then this penalty would have been completely meaningless to begin with. That's just the nature of this win in your in system. But
it would have made it a lot more difficult. But yeah,
NASCAR says, okay, it's our bad. We had an issue with template. That's what caused you guys to fail. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was only one car disqualified from Sunday's race, right? It's number 12 of Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
So that says to me that regardless of whether or not the template was 100% accurate per the NASCAR rulebook or not, the number 12 was still slightly different in that regard than the rest of the 35 cars out on the track, right? What if NASCAR truly had an issue with this template, why didn't, maybe not every car, but why didn't like 10 cars fail? Like if 10 cars failed tech and we had 10 disqualifications and we said, oh, this is an unprecedented situation, maybe we should take a look at this. Oh, wait a second, that our template was slightly off. Okay, that's on us. That's an honest mistake. We'll, take the blame on that one. Everybody can have their results back because you were actually within the rules. Our template was off. I don't understand how the 12 was still the only car that didn't pass tech inspection, unless they were testing an area of a 12 car that, they didn't test for everybody else. But, that doesn't make any sense to me. And I'll full disclosure, I don't work behind the scenes. I'm not a technical inspection official. I don't have a copy of a NASCAR rulebook right in front of me. But I am left with so many more questions than answers after this process. And this last part of NASCAR's statement saying we're taking steps to really ensure that something like this doesn't happen again going forward. You better. I mean, think of people like us that are coming on the air with our stories to analyze these races and analyze the current playoff picture and what this means for all the different drivers and the standings and how the rest of the season is going to play out. And so we finish the race and we go on air and we have our wrap-up show yesterday and we say, oh man, Ryan Blaney, I know he had a decent run today, but he's really missing those playoff points because the Fords have been off all year compared to the Chevys and Toyotas, and he's got some work to do. It's not officially a must-win, but it's probably a must-win if we're being honest, given the strength of his playoff field. Oh, wait a second, crap, he got disqualified. Oh my goodness, it is definitely a must-win situation. Then he's almost a full race back with winning both stages. He's definitely got to win one of the next two races to punch his ticket of a championship 4. He better win now. Oh, wait a second. They actually took the disqualification back. So everything that we were talking about before we went off the air when we got the breaking news yesterday, that's actually the true story now. So we can go back and delete everything that we undeleted to make room for the new stuff. That now has to be deleted because they changed their mind. They took the blame. And we talk all the time about how this system is designed to be more entertaining for the casual racing fan and guarantee that the championship's going to go down in the last race and we're going to maintain interest from the casual sports fan, right? What do you think the casual sports fan is thinking of all this circus right now that Ryan Blaney finished 6th? Oh, wait a second. He actually finished 36th because he had an illegal car. Oh, wait a second. The car wasn't illegal. NASCAR's template was off, so he does finish 6th again. I mean, that can't be the standard going forward. We're not going to know what the results are. We're not going to know who our race winners and champions are until 24, 48 hours after the fact.
Yeah, that's really a big issue, and it's not good. It's just not good. It's not what you wanted to happen. I really didn't know we still had even I guess I was ignorant on this. I didn't know we still had a physical template piece still going around in post-race inspection. I've been seeing the laser light show for a couple of years. I thought that's how we were doing most of our inspection. And
I guess different parts of the car. Different.
And I thought the pieces like this that are physical template pieces were down to a minimum, and maybe this is just one of the few that's left as a physical template inspector. I don't know all the details about this to know honestly, Ben. I don't know how you mess up a damper template in the first place.
Well, I'll give credit where it's due. The last several disqualifications, NASCAR's had like this kind of show and tell process where they've gone through exactly what was wrong. Like Kevin Harvick a couple weeks ago at Talladega,
on YouTube,
fasteners weren't secure. Let's show you what we mean by that. Let's show you why this car failed tech. I mean, I better see that transparency here. I mean, I want to see exactly what went down that made NASCAR think that this car was out of line per the rule book enough to warrant a disqualification. And then 24 hours later, I'm still, the news just broke right before we came on the show here. So I don't think Penske even began to launch. I don't know if they issued a statement yesterday as to whether or not they were going to go through the appeal process or if they were still deciding to do that. But I think NASCAR just came out and restored it. We've seen appeals go through before and finishes be restored. We've seen appeals reduce the severity of penalties in the past based on how the appeals panel heard both sides of the argument. I can't recall. I mean, Brandon, you can chime in here if something comes to mind for you. I'm with Adam here in the chat. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen NASCAR on their own doing without any sort of appeal process say, hey, our mistake. Here's your points back or here's your win back. I can't recall anything like that happening.
This actually is probably a good thing because this is one of the things I've kind of had a irk about, that NASCAR really is, in a way, unapologetic in their decisions, and whether it's right or wrong, they're never going to backtrack and say, oh, what we did was maybe not the right decision. You know, they're always going to move forward, continue moving forward. We like what we're seeing, but if it truly was messed up, I'm glad they actually for once took a step back and said what we did there was wrong. But yeah, I'm with you. I really hope we get a YouTube video that's 10 minutes long, you know, in full detail, cutaway car, explaining exactly what they saw, what they thought they saw, and then what they actually saw.
Yeah, well, and Joe Samaniego talking about yesterday's show, I remember while we were on the air wondering why the results were not official. It did seem like tech inspection was taking a little bit longer. We even had a longer window between the race finish and when we went on the air. Yeah, I guess we understand now, or we thought we understood when we got the news of Blaney's disqualification yesterday, which is now completely irrelevant because it's been taken back. So I don't know. We'll continue to follow this. I'm sure that if more significant developments happen, Kobe and the rest of the Grid Tonight team will have you covered on Wednesday night. I don't want to speak for what his show is going to consist of. That's going to be his decision because it's his show. But I would assume that if something significant happens in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll provide you with an update then. In the meantime, I guess
the worst thing that could happen after this is also like going back again. I mean, that would be like, okay, stop, please fire somebody. This has to be fixed.
Yeah, that would be, there you go. That would be a fireable offense, I think, for whoever's making that. Because, I mean, at some point, either the car is illegal or it's not. You decided it was illegal, then you decided, well, it was an issue on our end that made us think it was illegal, so we'll take the blame for that. It's actually not. You can't change your mind again. This better be, like, I just tweeted last car on Brock Beer before we came onto the show. I mean, he's had to do rewrites before. I don't know if he's had to do a double rewrite before for a third update to the last place finisher.
Yeah, and as important as the media are, you know, they're not taking the media into account in any of this. Like that's the last. Sure. That's the last part. That's the last thing in their mind.
And I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying that when you do change your mind 2 or 3 times, you know, I mean,
there are consequences.
How do you keep track of what's going on here?
Yeah. I mean, TV producers on NASCAR Race Hub and all that, they're pulling their hair out right now, and all the different news beat, they're also doing the same. So there is that repercussion that's unfortunate.
Everybody's deadline stories that they had to get out are completely wrong and irrelevant now.